In 1996, a family of 4 German tourists, Egbert Rimkus, his son George Weber, girlfriend Cornelia Meyer, and her son Max, vanished into the vast scorching wilderness of Death Valley National Park. Their dream vacation in the USA, full of adventure and exploration, transformed into a harrowing mystery. But how did a simple tourist trip turn into a disappearance that would baffle and haunt investigators for years? In this video, we're digging into the old case. If you're new here and love unraveling the secrets of the past as much as we do, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. Egbert Rimkus, 34, a skilled and experienced office manager, and Cornelia Meyer, 27, a bank employee, were looking for adventure far away from their hometown in deserted Germany. Along with Rimkus' 11-year-old son, George Weber, and Meyer's 4-year-old son, Max, they planned a 3-week vacation across California, soaking up the sun and exploring the rugged landscapes. Death Valley National Park was on their list for its dramatic desert scenery and unique natural wonders. Armed with tourist guides and maps, they eagerly anticipated their desert adventure. They rented a Plymouth Voyager minivan in Los Angeles, loaded it with minimal supplies, trusting regular tourist stops for provisions, and set off. The family was last seen on July 22, 1996, at the Furnace Creek Visitor Center in Death Valley. They appeared in good spirits, signing a guest book and chatting briefly with staff. They mentioned their plans to explore the park, possibly aiming to view the famous desert wildflowers in bloom. This was a rare sight, and the family, perhaps unaware of the harsh summer conditions, seemed excited at the opportunity. When they didn't return the rented minivan on July 26, the rental company reported it missing. However, with limited information and vast wilderness, the search didn't immediately kick off. It was not until late August, when the family failed to return to Germany, that relatives reported them missing, triggering a more thorough but perplexing investigation into their whereabouts. Little did anyone know, this was just the beginning of a mystery that would lead investigators and amateur sleuths down a path filled with more questions than answers. What was meant to be a fun-filled holiday was about to turn into one of the most perplexing disappearances in the annals of American national park history. Days turned into weeks, with an air of desperation surrounding the search for the German family, lost in Death Valley. Let's delve deeper into the challenges and efforts that shaped this grueling search. When the German family was reported missing, local authorities didn't hesitate. They knew every second counted, launching a massive search operation. They faced the unforgiving wrath of Death Valley. Picture this: scorching temperatures often crossing 120 Fahrenheit, 49 Celsius, and a vast hostile landscape stretching over 3,000 square miles. The search teams had to investigate through an unyielding maze of sun-baked terrain with heat pounding down on them relentlessly. Considered among the hottest and driest places in North America, Death Valley isn't kind to the unprepared. For anyone, let alone a visiting family, surviving in these brutal conditions without the right gear or knowledge seemed nearly impossible. Every local knew that, and it fueled the urgency of the search. Teams on foot, in SUVs, and buzzing overhead in helicopters scoured every inch of the park they could. They looked in crowded tourist areas, quiet campgrounds, and the vast deserted stretches where fewer visitors dared to venture. But as the operation expanded, covering the diverse terrains of the valley, from salt flats to rocky mountains, no telling signs or leads emerged. The family seemingly vanished into thin air. In this daunting landscape, the park rangers were the unsung heroes. Knowing the land like the back of their hands, they coordinated the search. Alongside them was a force of locals and skilled hikers who volunteered. Understanding the land's dangers and mysteries, their insight was invaluable, identifying likely routes the family might have taken and pointing out hidden springs or shelter spots where they might have sought refuge. The outpouring from volunteers highlighted a shared sentiment of concern within the community. It showed the profound impact the mysterious disappearances had on those who called this harsh wilderness their home. In an effort to cover more ground and probe the inaccessible crevices of the park, the search party turned to technology. Helicopters equipped with thermal imaging cameras cut through the vastness, searching for any sign of life amidst the desert's deceptive calm. These eyes in the sky were crucial, enabling the teams to explore the deep canyons, treacherous cliffs, and hidden mine shafts that peppered Death Valley. The deployment of such advanced technology was a testament to the seriousness with which the search was undertaken. It reflected a commitment to leave no stone unturned, employing every available resource in the daunting quest to find the missing family. As if the search wasn't challenging enough, the harsh conditions of the desert environment itself posed a continuous threat. searchers had to contend with not just the heat, but also with the sudden sandstorms that could reduce visibility to zero in an instant. The rugged, shifting landscape was not just a backdrop, but a formidable opponent, demanding respect and cautious investigation. This relentless environment isn't merely the setting of our story, it's a character in its own right. Its sheer vastness and hostility play a pivotal role, influencing every decision, every search route, and the overall odds of survival. In Death Valley, nature isn't just an observer, it's an active force, constantly reshaping the narrative of the search and the fate of those lost within its embrace. With each passing day, the chances of finding the family alive dwindled, but hope, as they say, is the last thing ever lost. The searchers pressed on, driven by the slim chance of a miracle in the merciless desert. Almost a year after they vanished, a twist in the tale emerged. Deep in the desert's heart, in a place where few would dare to venture, the family's minivan was discovered, abandoned and exposed to the relentless desert sun. Why was it here? So far from any known paths. The van was found by a group of hikers in a remote area of Death Valley, miles away from any established road or trail. It was in Anvil Spring Canyon, an area notorious for its rough terrain, raising questions about how and why the van ended up there. What secrets lay within this forgotten vehicle? The van's tires were shredded, its windows were dust covered, but inside, personal belongings of the family were still scattered around. Items found included maps, empty water bottles, and a camera, hinting that the family had planned for a sightseeing trip, not a survival expedition. The van's location far off the main tourist routes and in difficult terrain suggests a lack of familiarity with the area. The condition of the vehicle indicated it had been stuck there for a considerable time. Experts believe the shredded tires meant the family might have tried to drive through rugged terrain, vastly underestimating the harshness of the landscape. Forensic analysis showed no sign of a struggle or foul play inside or around the van, steering the narrative back to an unfortunate miscalculation by the tourists rather than criminal activity. The mysterious placement and condition of the van posed more questions than answers. Was this an unfortunate wrong turn taken by a family unfamiliar with the brutal, unforgiving nature of Death Valley? Or did the scattering of personal items hint at a hasty, perhaps panicked departure? As the sun set on the vast desert, it left shadows not just on the sands, but on the story of the Death Valley Germans, with clues as puzzling as the desert itself. Was there a criminal element they accidentally crossed paths with? Or did a tragic error of judgment claim their lives? Each theory seems to weave its own complex web of possibilities. Let's unravel these, shall we? First up, the theory that the group planned their disappearance. Some speculate they wanted to start anew, leaving behind their old lives. But why choose one of the most inhospitable places on Earth for a vanishing act? Let's explore the possibility of foul play. The harsh desert has seen its fair share of criminal activities, from illegal drug labs to hidden hideouts. Could the Germans have witnessed something they shouldn't have? Or an underestimation of the brutal Death Valley environment? Were the Germans simply unprepared for the dangers of this harsh landscape? Then there's the darker edge of speculation, secret military or government tests in the area. Death Valley's remote expanse is not far from known military testing sites. Could they have accidentally stumbled upon a restricted area, leading to a cover-up? A prominent figure in reinvestigating this case, Mahood, an aerospace engineer with a knack for solving mysteries, spent years analyzing the details. His extensive trekking into Death Valley and meticulous examination of the van's location provided fresh insights. Various online forums and websites saw a surge of activity, with users scrutinizing satellite imagery, weather reports from 1996, and terrain analysis to suggest new theories on the family's movement. Mahood and others suggested that the family might have taken an unknown or little-used trail based on their understanding of the area's geography. Some investigators focused on survival aspects, analyzing how long the family could have survived in the harsh desert conditions with limited supplies. Amateur sleuths pointed out potential oversights in the initial search operations, such as unexplored areas or trails that seemed unlikely but could have offered crucial evidence. Why did the family leave their van? What was their intended destination? And why did they seemingly venture so far off the typical tourist path? These new investigations shed light on overlooked details and possible scenarios that official efforts might have missed. Did the Germans lose their way following a misunderstood map? Could there have been unmarked hazards that led them astray? Or was their fate the result of something more mysterious? As each new piece of the puzzle was placed, the story took on different shapes, keeping the memory of the lost family alive and the mystery at the forefront curious minds around the world. Just when the trail seemed cold, whispers from those who were there began to emerge, planting a different picture. Off the record, park officials hinted at more, but what? And why were certain details overlooked in the rush to close the case? An ex-park ranger, speaking on the condition of anonymity, shared an unsettling observation. They noticed inconsistencies in the vehicle's condition, tire tracks that seemed too fresh for a car left exposed for months, suggesting the van might have been placed there long after the family disappeared. A retired deputy who was part of the initial search team expressed doubts off the record. He believed the search areas were too quickly narrowed down, ignoring key signs that suggested the family could have taken a different path, driven by unknown motives or external pressures. Among their belongings, strangely enough, were maps of the area, but with certain trails marked which weren't part of the planned itinerary. Were they led off their path, or were they searching for something else? Weather reports from the time of their disappearance indicate milder temperatures, contrary to the narrative of them succumbing to the scorching desert heat. Could this clue point towards a different cause of their vanishing? Forensic analysis, not widely publicized at the time, revealed unidentified fingerprints on the van's trunk and one on the water bottles. Who else was out there with them in those desolate sands? Credit card records showed last-minute purchases not typical for a family planning to explore well-trodden tourist spots. Heavy-duty flashlights, extra water storage, as if gearing up for a harsher, more remote environment. What or who drove them to change their plans so drastically? These snippets, these hushed confessions and hidden facts, paint a story not so cut and dry. A family lost not just to the desert, but perhaps to something more sinister, more mysterious. What truly happened out there remains buried, but these clues whisper of a story yet untold. Are these suggestions of foul play, or something more than a mere misadventure? The disappearance of the Death Valley Germans remains one of the most perplexing mysteries of our time. A puzzle piece still lost in the vast, unyielding desert. Was it a tragic twist of fate, an unfortunate mishap in one of the harshest landscapes on Earth? Or is the truth still concealed? Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping stories from history's shadows and today's headlines. Every subscribe, like, and comment brings us closer to unraveling the next great mystery. Remember, your next click might just help uncover a truth long hidden. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring the mysteries of our world.